Hello, hello. Again, today is October the 26th, 2020, and I'm going to do a mediumistic reading on Bon Scott. He was the lead singer for AC/DC until his death as a result of overindulgence, falling asleep in a car, and so sad. It was very cold that night, and I believe that he died as the result more of the hypothermia, from what I recall reading. It factored in, and he was trying to, I believe, get back in, but the person didn't hear them. So he went and slept in the car that was open. But unfortunately, he did not survive. And he died, this happened in the UK. Incidentally, he was born in the UK, despite having grown up in Australia. And just checking on his astrological chart, I find that Bon Scott is a Cancer with a Scorpio moon. He also had very energetic Leo in his chart, some fire signs that really made you see how he was meant to be an entertainer and some of the components of his life. He was very deeply sensitive with that Scorpio moon. And being a Cancer, already also very, very deeply sensitive person. But let's go ahead, let's give him the platform and see what Bon Scott wants to convey. I will just play interpreter of the symbols, and I ask my ancestors, the creator, and my spiritual helpers to assist me in using my intuition so I can give as accurate a reading as possible, given especially my scattered mind today. Bon Scott was born on July 9th, I believe, 1946. Okay, so I just want to see what Bon's spirit would want to convey to us that he feels is important for us to understand, that maybe we don't know about, what he wants to convey. All right, let's just see. This is holding on. This is the Four of Pentacles. The Eight of Cups. The Page of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles. Wow, that's interesting. You know, I'm picking up definitely that we're dealing with being outside It was winter when he passed. And not feeling, not feeling great, not feeling well. And there's a feeling here there is a feeling of kind of being abandoned, and maybe this is mixed in with the feeling that he couldn't get into the house. Let's just see. Yeah, I need more cards. We get the World card. We get the King of Swords. We get the Page we get the Page of Swords under the Page of Pentacles. And the 8 of Pentacles. Three of Cups. King of Pentacles. 10 of Swords. And Death. I think he regrets getting into the situation that he got locked out. And I believe that he was really trying to hold on and trying to find a means, I think, to adapt to the situation since he couldn't get into the house, basically, long and short of it, in this row. Also, I feel here that physically, I think he was starting not to feel well. And not just because he was out in the cold and had been partying that night. He certainly, I think, didn't feel well by then. But I think that maybe some things were beginning to catch up to him, actually, with how he was tending to live. But there's a feeling that I should have been. I think he feels like he ignored some signs a bit when he should have been taking better care of himself. Okay, I can understand that. I think that also for him, he felt a bit lonely sometimes, despite the fact that he was a traveler and was on the move a lot. I think some of that traveling I'm getting from him was to avoid certain aspects of his life. Certainly it was a necessary part of his life because of his career, but part of the reason it appealed to him on a personal level is it was a way of avoiding or dealing with things he'd rather not. And I'm thinking he's also advocating for dealing with those things so you don't end up creating an avoidable situation. I'm getting that definitely. because he felt like he had, here I'm with the second row going vertically, with the world, he had success. There were, it looks like to me, there was some work maybe with another individual. If this isn't somebody in the band, there was working on some kind of it would have been an interesting or a really good release. It shows that the skills were increasing, their understanding, their knowledge, and with having just the experience as a singer and as an entertainer, he was at a critical point where he had a lot of knowledge that was he could have used in a very good direction. But he died before he could see that success. And I think that is something he wants to convey to people, especially people who are creative and are artists and may abuse substance or may play loose and fast with their health. Many of us do also, and don't realize it. We push ourselves, we ignore certain things, and we think it's not going to happen to us. And I'm definitely getting that message from him. Don't think it can't happen to you. Through self-neglect, through pushing through situations where you're pushing the limits. You know, value your well-being so that you can see plans to fruition. There was something here he was very excited about and felt would have been successful in connection to this King of Swords. And there's creative excitement and growth. He was learning something, I think, in his craft that was exciting to him. And this sideline of drinking and partying being the thing that stupidly takes him out because it's avoidable, I think in his message here, he's saying especially, damn, I regret that. There's partying, the Three of Cups is often partying, but also success, celebration. A King of Pentacles, somebody doing well business-wise, I feel I feel like he had to abandon, as a result, something that he was very much interested in doing. And these two men here may have been part of that scenario that he was, it looks to me like, looking forward to, or feeling like, hey, I'm really enjoying learning this. Yeah. He felt like he was gaining in strength as, I think, a performer, understanding things better and wanting to incorporate different, I think, aspects into his shows and music and entertainment. But he died. And here's this Ten of Swords of just something too much. And death. that you can overdo it. And even if you think that you are a tough person, you might be able to handle the drink, but the aspects of sleeping out in the cold or being exposed, it statistically will catch up with you. And here it shows an end. He's talking about, I believe, being outside and also simultaneously speaking to the earthly realm of the work he was doing and improving, and it may have been a radical change that he would have been making, but it would have been something interesting, but it didn't get a chance to manifest. It was something that he had been working on and had really improved upon, looking this way, but he died before he could manifest it. And here, again, this is indicative of a new project or start, and this is beginning writing or talking or fleshing out some ideas, perhaps. It's a creative spark. So I feel like there was something here with a creative spark and the beginning of a manifestation, but again, it dies. It ends with him, with his death. And this is and vertically when I read, this is the abandonment or making a new change, going in a new direction, possibly involving two men. And it would have been something he needed to leave behind and change in his life. And I think possibly this could be also that the men in the band, a couple of the men in the band, maybe an air sign and an earthly sign, may have been wanting him to make some changes. That's possible. And maybe he was set to do that. But this just got him. It's out with someone partying and he dies before he can manifest something he really wanted to creatively. And I feel like he really regrets it. But here is the Six of Swords. And, the Magician. He has learned, this to me is also his, it speaks about going in a better direction. Moving on and going into a better direction. Creatively, where he is able to express himself and manifest. And I believe this is obviously on the other side, but often what we don't realize is that a lot of things we may not be able to detect, they can influence here. Work with people, guide people. They're not just limited like we are in certain laws and respects. So it shows him, I feel like, having successfully transitioned and is able to be, he's indicating more creative and able to manifest because he doesn't have the drink, probably, complicating things. There is a female that comes up, and there is the moon around her. Let me see. Another female, Queen of Cups, and a father or husband type figure with the Emperor. I'm wondering if these are sisters or family, possibly wives. And I don't know, are there two, because I haven't kept it, are there two women that possibly here have, I don't know if there's a rivalry, but there might be. And I'm thinking, I know he was married more than once. Is this an issue between maybe wives that he had? Women in his life? I feel like it's wife. I feel like it's not just girlfriend. I feel like it's wife. Wives. This is something to do with responsibility, accountability, and the things that, realizing something is, I think he's also saying that with these women, it might be, if there's nothing like that between them, it could also be that this is saying maybe he's showing a realization on his part as having been a husband to them, that he may not have been entirely honest with that moon, and there's some secrecy. And I think he feels with this Ace of Swords that he has had to own up to some sort of behavior of his past, wherein as a husband he may have been secretive, or may not have been so forthcoming, or may have had a dark side that had more control in his life than it should have, and having to be honest about it. Yeah, this is showing, this is about self-control. It is about being the difference between being kind of pulling yourself together, or being a train wreck that's scattered or confused. You have to decide. You have to make a decision. You have a lot of opportunities. You have to decide, do you want this, that, or the other? And you have to make a choice, and you have to act on it. You can't just be bedazzled by possibilities. Otherwise, it remains a dream. You have to, there's the thing of you have to get your act together and make it happen. Don't just let it remain a dream. So he's talking about something along this line. Maybe he had a tendency to be a dreamer. And when it came to these relationships with his wives, maybe he didn't manifest some of the things he was promising or saying he was going to do. There's a feeling there that that's possible. And I feel like he's owning it. And I'm shown with the Four of Cups and Justice that things do end up working out. Sometimes, though, he's saying that it can take you longer than you'd like, or it may not be in the way you'd like, but balance comes, and you have to be accountable for your behavior. Whether you like that or want to look at it or not. Yeah, because change, Wheel of Fortune. and ego with that Six of Wands for him. I feel that his ego, I feel like he's owning that his ego and his need for acceptance, and through an audience, through his peers, was leading him more than it should have. And ego can do that to you, especially for people that become famous. It makes it's kind of insidious in its own way. I feel like that ego was in charge, and it's what brought things to a halt for him, but also created, now that he's on the other side, there's a new cycle, and he's having to work on balancing what wasn't balanced in his life as Bon Scott. He's been working on it. I think he's letting us know that he feels, I think, frustrated by the sense of constraint and loss of work and grieving. There's a lot of emotion here, and I feel like he's talking about seeing how hurt people were when he passed, and how he was able to see how it affected them, to see people's grief, the grief of people. And I think the sheer emotional power of it was overwhelming to him, is what there's indicative here, is just overwhelming. And I feel more with the Seven of Swords, I feel that this is more indicative of him being able to see or be aware, have with that sword, the awareness and consciousness of other people, of what they felt, how they were grieving him. And I think he regrets causing them pain because he couldn't say to them in a clear manner, address it and say, I'm sorry. I feel like he comes to people when they're sleeping. And there's also, this is an acknowledgement of, I think, people coming to possibly his tomb, his internment, his place of burial, offerings. It's keeps the past alive. It's and his success inspires people, still inspiring people. So I think he's acknowledging that it's he's touched by people and their memorials coming to visit his tomb, and he's very, as one would be, he's very touched by that sentiment and offering. So I think he has done a lot of work on the other side. And creatively, I feel that once artists, especially that I've read, that have had drug issues, that they can't believe the clarity by which, and they are not feeling like they need to use, and how, wow. So being able to be creative on the other side is truly more freeing than I can understand, and we can understand here until we get there. But yes, I feel that he's acknowledging and grateful for that, because he was unorthodox, and it shows that he was a bit ahead of his time, but that he, with this, I feel like with this hermit card, that with the lantern that is being held up with that hermit, it is the knowledge. He kind of paved the way, and for, and encouraged and inspired, he's seeing that too, other people, and that pleases him, that he was able to carve a path a bit for other people to follow, or to take ideas from. And I think as an artist, that pleases him. In fact, it, really energizes him. So that is what I am going to end out with, Bon Scott. And it's very cool. I'm able to track what I feel like was his death and passing, and see the transition, being shown how his thoughts and things changed, what he wants to let us know about that, something with regard to how he treated his wives, and he has, I believe, the desire to own up to a lack of accountability to them, that he should have been a better husband, or in some way he feels like, at least I think he's sorry for certain things he put them through. That's the only thing I can say, because I'm not there. I don't know what went on, but there's something there that he is very sensitive toward regarding them. And I think it pleases him that he continues to inspire. And I think he's acknowledging, hey, when you come and that people leave an offering at my memorial areas, it touches my heart. My spirit is there. I'm aware of it. I know about it. And he continues also to be creative on the other side. That's, and again, also that sense of unencumbered creativity, of really clear creativity. I feel that he wants to encourage people to follow their dreams, value their talent, and take care of themselves. Value their talent enough that they take care of themselves and don't just think they're invincible, because you're not. And I see that as a real regret for him. And I think he wants to let people know that he does, he is there to guide, he is there to help. Even if you can't see him, even if you think, is this my imagination or whatever, he wants to help other people. I'm being shown here to be a mentor and to help them with success for themselves. So I believe his advice is, if you're inspired by me, that's great, but please do not disregard your health and your well-being when it comes to substances, definitely, because he's upset that something he was hoping to work on, I feel like, was not able to be manifested. There were some ideas I'm being shown that he had with some, possibly with some other people, maybe other guys in the band or what have you, but it didn't end up coming to be, and that is shown as clearly bothering him. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe, and I thank you, and I shall see you in the next video.